Personal Planner appears to the user seated in front of it to be an integrated office management system. There are bulletin board notices and mail messages which can be written to and read, phone and address books, note files and personal reminders, and a memory where items can be stored. Selection of options is done from a menu system. By hitting any key, a user can move among the options. He selects one by hitting the Enter key. The system actions are simple. They can be learned rapidly with very little instruction so that a user can begin working on real tasks. Though Personal Planner looks on the surface like an office management system, it is actually a research tool. The Personal Planner is an example of what we call a scenario machine. There are choices to make at each point and a single optimal path which will lead from beginning to end. By accomplishing the tasks set up, the user becomes acquainted with the functions of the real system. To be effective, the scenario of tasks should represent the most fundamental functions of a system to a beginning novice user. So, for example, this user starts out by checking his list of things to do that day. This list then sets up the next task by including a reminder to read his note file for a longer message. This item says, "Report to Mr. Big on 37C VDUs. See note file for details." The user will then move to the note file, and when the note is reached, it motivates the next task for the user. In his note file, the user finds two messages, one on 37C VDU needs for 1985 and one on financial reports. By choosing the note on 37C VDUs, he can see a longer note telling him what he is supposed to do next. This note says, "Mr. Biggs wants to know who will need 37C terminals for 1985. Post bulletin board message." The user's next task has been motivated by telling him to post a message. In this way, we can expose users to most of the functions in Personal Planner while they're engaged in a realistic series of tasks, rather than having them read and work through a training manual. The scenario machine contains knowledge about these tasks at each point in the interaction. This knowledge is implicit. The Personal Planner cannot change or manipulate the tasks dynamically. However, because the interaction defines the goals for the user, the machine has the appearance of understanding what the user is doing, even as his tasks change. For instance, because of this knowledge, the machine can offer appropriate help when a mistake is made, and different versions can have different types of help. In this version of the Personal Planner, the machine gives the user information about which step to take next if he chooses an incorrect one in the current task. In a different version at the same point, the Personal Planner states the goal which the person should be pursuing, leaving him to figure out the proper procedure. Personal Planner is written in an authoring language called Handy, invented by Don Nix at IBM's Watson Research Center. Because changes in the interface can be made easily, Personal Planner is a convenient research tool. Various versions of the interface can be created quickly. This offers a means for testing questions about user interfaces concerning graphics, timing, and message content. But the most important aspect of the scenario machine is that it contains knowledge about a domain implicitly by structuring the user's tasks. This knowledge, in turn, can facilitate practical research, not only on interface design, but on plan recognition, decision-making, and intelligent tutoring in computer application domains.